Hello students, this is your English lesson. Today we are going to read Unit 7, A Boy's Best Friend from Oxford Modern English Book 8. So we start our lesson. This is page number 94 from your book. Words to know. Crater. A large bowl shaped cavity like the mouth of a volcano. Faker, someone who fakes or pretends. The expression is more American. Faker, shamer, humbug. Had let him hear about, had scolded him. Kangaroo, hope. Kangaroos move forward by hopping. On the moon there is less gravity than there is on earth, so the author has used the phrase kangaroo hop to describe how people move about on the moon. Lunar, of the moon. Moonborn, born on the moon. Positronic, made up of positrons, small particles of electricity. The point the author is trying to make is that robot hasn't a real brain or real feelings of love, programmed, fed with information as is done with a computer to behave in a particular way. Scotch Terrier, a rough haired, active, and hardy dog. Spindly, tall and slender. Tendons, strong band or cord of tissue forming the ends or the connecting parts of muscles. Here, robots' tendons are made of steel. The tests, the medical checkup, etc., was nearly full. Using a new expression, we on Earth say of the moon, it is a full moon when the whole surface of the moon is lit up by the light of the sun. Wavelength, the length measured from any point on one wave to the same point on the next wave. The wavelengths of a radio are usually measured in meters. Mr. Anderson said, "Where's Jimmy, dear?" "Out on the crater," said Mrs. Anderson. "He will be all right. Robert is with him. Did he arrive?" "Yes, he is at the rocket station going through the tests. Actually, I can hardly wait to see him myself. I haven't really seen on since I left Earth 15 years ago. You can't count films. Jimmy has never seen one," said Mrs. Anderson, "because he is moonborn and can't visit Earth. That's why I am bringing one here. I think it's the first one ever on the moon." "It costs enough," said Mrs. Anderson with a small sigh. "Maintaining robot isn't cheap either," said Mr. Anderson. Jimmy was out on the crater, as his mother had said. By Earth standards, he was spindly, but rather tall for a 10-year-old. His arms and legs were long and agile, able to move quickly. He looked thicker and stubbier, short and broad, with his spacesuit on, but he could handle the lunar gravity as no earthborn human being could. His father couldn't begin to keep up with him when Jimmy stretched his legs and went into the kangaroo hoop. The outer side of the crater sloped southward, and the earth, which was low in the southern sky, where it always was, as seen from Lunar City, was nearly full, so that the entire crater slope was brightly lit. The slope was a gentle one, and even the weight of the spacesuit couldn't keep Jimmy from racing up it in a floating hope that made the gravity seem non existent. "Come on, Robot!" he shouted. Robot, who could hear him by radio, squeaked, make a high pitched sound or cry, and bounded after. Jimmy, expert though he was, couldn't outrace Robot. outrace exceed in race. Who didn't need a spacesuit and had four legs and tendons of steel? Robot sailed over Jimmy's head, somersaulting and landing almost under his feet. Don't show off, Robot, said Jimmy, and stay inside. Robot squeaked again, the special squeak that meant, yes, I don't trust you, you faker, shouted Jimmy, and up he went in one last bound that carried him over the curved upper edge of the crater wall and down onto the inner slope. The earth sank below the top of the crater wall, and at once it was pitch dark around him, a warm, friendly darkness that wiped out the difference between ground and sky except for the glitter of stars. Actually, Jimmy wasn't supposed to exercise along the dark side of the crater wall. The grown ups said it was dangerous, but that was because they were never there. The ground was smooth and crunchy, and Jimmy knew the exact location of every one of the few rocks. Besides, how could it be dangerous racing through the dark when Robot was right there with him, bouncing around and squeaking and glowing? Even without the glow, Robot could tell where he was and where Jimmy was by radar. Jimmy couldn't go wrong while Robot was around, tripping him when he was too near a rock, or jumping on him to show how much he loved him, or circling around and squeaking low and scared when Jimmy hid behind a rock. When all the time Robot knew well enough where he was once Jimmy and Lane he remained still and pretended he was hurt, and Robot had sounded the radio alarm and people from Lunar City got there in a hurry. Jimmy's father had let him hear about that little trick, and Jimmy never tried it again. Just as he was remembering that, he heard his father's voice on his private wavelength. Jimmy, come back! I have something to tell you. Jimmy was out of his spacesuit now and washed up. You always had to wash up after coming in from outside. Even Robot had to be sprayed, but he loved it. He stood there on all fours, his little foot-long body quivering and glowing just a tiny bit, quivering, trembling, or shaking, and his small head with no mouth, with two large glassed in eyes, and with a bump where the brain was. He squeaked until Mr. Anderson said, "Quite robot." Mr. Anderson was smiling. "We have something for you, Jimmy. It's at the rocket station now, but we will have it tomorrow after all the tests are over. I thought I did tell you now. From Earth, Dad? A dog from Earth, son? A real dog, a Scotch Terrier puppy, the first dog on the moon. You won't need Rupert anymore. We can't keep them both, and some other boy or girl will have Robot." He seemed to be waiting for Jimmy to say something. Then he said, "You know what a dog is, Jimmy? It's the real thing. Robot's only a mechanical imitation, a robot mutt. That's how he got his name." Jimmy frowned. "Robot isn't an imitation. Dad, he's my dog. Not a real one, Jimmy. Robot's just steel and wiring and a simple positronic brain. It's not alive. He does everything I want him to do, Dad. He understands me. Sure, he's alive." "No, son. Robot is just a machine. It's just programmed to act the way it does. A dog is alive. You won't want Robot after you have the dog. The dog will need a spacesuit, won't he?" "Yes, of course, but it will be worth the money and he will get used to it, and he won't need one in the city. You will see the difference once he gets here." Jimmy looked at Robot, who was squeaking again, a very low, slow squeak that seemed frightened. Jimmy held out his arms, and Robot was in them in one bound. Jimmy said, What will the difference be between robot and the dog? It's hard to explain, said Mr. Anderson, but it will be easy to see. The dog will really love you. Robot is just adjusted to act as though it loves you. Now come to the exercises. A. Comprehension. Answer the following questions. Who is Mrs. Anderson referring to when she asks, "Did he arrive?" Answer. When Mrs. Anderson asks, "Did he arrive?" she is referring to the Scotch Terrier puppy. B. How was it possible for Jimmy to handle the lunar gravity easily? Answer. Jimmy is to handle the lunar gravity easily because he is moon born and agile. See, how do we know that Jimmy had been in the crater many times before? Answer. We know that Jimmy had been in the crater many times before because he is confident there and knows it well. D. The grown ups thought the crater was dangerous, but Jimmy was not at all worried about the possible dangers. Why was he so confident? Answer. Jimmy was so confident in the crater because he knew the exact location of every one of the few rocks and because he could not go wrong when Robot was with him. E. Why does Jimmy's father seem to be waiting for Jimmy to say something when he has told him about the dog? Answer. Because he wanted to take his response about the real dog, as Jimmy loved his robot very much and did not want to leave that mechanical robot mutt. F. How did Robot get his name? Answer. Robot got his name because he is a robot mutt and these two words were merged into his name. G. Why does Jimmy hold Robot so tightly? How does the dog react? Answer. Jimmy holds Robot tightly because he does not want to exchange him for the Scotch Terrier. The dog reacts by squeaking high and rapid squeaks of happiness. These questions are more difficult. Discuss them first. H. Why do you think the dog was at the rocket station going through the tests? What tests would these have been? Answer. Maybe Jimmy has been born on the moon and has not been exposed to germs from Earth. So, perhaps this is what the dog is having tests for. I. Why do you think Jimmy and anyone else always had to wash up after coming in from outside? Think of as many reasons as you can. Answer. Always had to wash up after coming in from outside. Perhaps they need to clean off germs from the moon landscape. To answer the following with reference to context. A. Because he is moonborn and can't visit Earth. 1. Who is speaking to whom? Answer. Mr. Anderson is speaking to Mrs. Anderson. 2. Who is the speaker referring to as being moonborn? The speaker is referring to Jimmy as being moonborn. 3. To what question or statement has this response been given by the speaker? Answer is Jimmy has never seen one. 4. What is the speaker going to give the moonborn? A Scotch Terrier puppy. B. The earth sank below the top of the crater wall and at once it was pitch dark around him. 1. Who is in the crater? Was he alone? Jimmy. He is with his robot dog. 2. Why was the person not supposed to be inside the crater? Jimmy was not supposed to be in the crater because the grown-ups said it was dangerous. 3. How did the person gain confidence in the crater? Jimmy gained confidence in the crater by becoming familiar with it. See, it's hard to explain, said Mr. Anderson, but it will be easy to see. One, who is Mr. Anderson talking to? Answer. He is talking to Jimmy. Two, what will be easy to see? The dog's feelings of love for Jimmy. 3. What does Mr. Anderson go on to say about the present the listener is going to receive? Answer. Mr. Anderson go on to say that Jimmy will know the difference when he experiences the love of a living thing. 4. How does the listener react to what Mr. Anderson says? Answer. Jimmy frowns and has a desperate look on his face. That meant that he would not change his mind. B. Working with words. 1. Use the following in sentences of your own. A. Long and agile. His long and agile arms make him great shooter. B. Thicker and stubbier. My brother is a thicker and stubbier boy. He always wins the competition. C. Went into. After a long period of silence, she went into speaking. D. Non-existent. Julia and Rebecca never missed a chance to tease her cousin about her non-existent relationship with James. E. Keep from prevent. It's difficult to keep from feeling bad about this situation. F. Expert though he was. Tina was not such an expert in art and craft, though she pretended she was. G. Pitch dark. We couldn't see our way in the pitch dark room. H. The difference between. The difference between a sentence and phrase is that a phrase is a short or long group of words. A sentence is also a group of words, but it conveys a complete thought. Lane. Their residents must have lain in England. 2. Have these words been spelled correctly? Rocket. It's correct. Crater, Crater, crater. Space suit, E will be omitted from here. Non existent, Nonexistent. Gravity, Gravity. Squeak is exactly right. Exercise. Exercise. Querying is correct. Imitation, Imitation. Imitation. Machine, Machine. Machine. Mechanical is correct. Programmed is correct. Difference, Difference. Difference. Wiring, Wiring. Wiring. Alarm, and Really. 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 What do the following words mean? Consult a dictionary. Myopic. Myopic means a visual defect. Claustrophobic. It means uncomfortably closed. Anesthetic. It means relating to anesthesia, loss of sensation. Peripatetic. It means walking about from place to place. Psychic. It means one who has powerful extra sensory perception. Make adjectives from the following by adding the suffix ic. Cycle, cyclic. Acid, acidic. Anemia, anemic. Patriot, patriotic. Nationalist, nationalistic. Mania, manic. paranoia, paranoic, philosophy, philosophic, romance, romantic, atom, atomic. Complete the following with ick or ick. Ick. TRICK trick, TRAFFIC traffic, STICK stick, PUBLIC public, SICK sick, FANTASTIC fantastic. Make your own compound sentences using these coordinating conjunctions. But he worked hard for examination but could not achieve high grades. Or, would you like to take tea or coffee? Either or. Either he or she cooks dinner for guests. Neither nor. They have neither red meat or white meat in this hotel. Yet, he is quite smart actor, yet I don't like him. Still, she still works hard for her company even though her dealing is not so good. 4. He set off for a long journey last night. So, I was suffering from high fever so could not attend my training class. Not only but also. Not only will they decorate the outside of the house but also the inside. Therefore, you have no knowledge about this, therefore, no way to make a new decision. Nevertheless, what you said was true, but nevertheless unkind to me. To rewrite the following pairs of sentences together using a different subordinating conjunction in each sentence. A. He arrived at the station, the train had left. He arrived at the station after the train had left. B. Shabir decided to go home early. He was very tired. Shabir decided to go home early because he was tired. C. The men cannot do the work. They have no tools. The men cannot do the work as they have no tools. D. The children came home. They had their dinner. When they had their dinner, the children came home. E. The teacher came into the room. The students stood up smartly. The students stood up smartly as soon as the teacher came into the room. F. He visited his parents. He took them presents. Whenever he visited his parents, he took them presents. G. The shopkeeper went home. There were no customers. The, the shopkeeper went home because there were no customers. H. The problem was difficult to solve. The clever boy had the answer very soon. Although the problem was difficult to solve, the clever boy had the answer very soon. I. The shopkeeper kept the shop open. The last customer left. The shopkeeper kept the shop open till the last customer left. J. You don't like chocolates? Don't buy any. If you don't like chocolates, don't buy any. Thanks for listening. For new videos, don't forget to subscribe my channel. And if you like my videos, please share and like.